Hi, so Sean from Gaslick, your local plumbing and heating company based here in the heart of the Medway Towns, or the historic city of Rochester, as I do like to call it. So we're live here at the moment from the office, so you will hear phones beeping and ringing and bits and pieces that are all going on. But I really wanted to do this video to show you some of the tools that we use to make our job a lot easier. So the stuff that we've come across and new technologies that have come on over the years. So here you go. So the first thing is the pipe freezer, made by Rothenberg. Various other makes on the market, but this is a very, very good bit of kit. It's all in one big box. So we have the cold gloves. So we always have some like rigger gloves on there because they do get cold. So what we do is we've got two heads. So here we are, and so this will do 15, 22, 28, and in the box here we can go down to 8 mil. They'll have like little shims that go on to the top. It has a couple of temperature gauges here, and these will go down to around -20, -30. Can take around 10 to 25, 30 minutes, all depends on the pipe size. It'll do steel pipe as well as copper pipe. And this enables us to, as long as the water's not flowing, to freeze the pipe, to do what we need to do, get it back on. Very quiet bit of kit, saves draining down, not always the best thing to use. The problem you get is that all of this pipe work here, this will absolutely freeze up. So the heads freeze, all the frost that comes down here. So sometimes we do have issues where, like in a children's nursery, where these things, obviously if you touch them with bare skin, you will stick to them. So we've obviously got the risk assessment side of things and where we can and where we can't do it. So, but great bit of kit when you need it. It gets you out of jail, and it really does speed things up and can help. I used it in a medical centre. Quite a big one a couple of weeks ago. We had a radiator that pin Holden was leaking, massive gravity system, froze the pipes while I was fetching the bits from the van, and in 20 minutes I think it was at -20, and then just cracked the nuts off, changed it over, and there was no draining down required. So fantastic bit of kit that. So moving on, what else do we use? So there's a company called Makita. Now, most people have heard of Makita, DeWalt, Milwaukee and all the rest of it. But we use a lot of Makita because it's the one battery that does all the bits and pieces. So we've got a couple of bits, and I call them fake Ketas because they come from like Amazon. They take the Makita battery, but they're not actually Makita power tools. But they work just as any cheap power tool does. It just takes the Makita battery. So the first one is, and this is probably our latest purchase, is a transfer pump. So this little bit pushes on, this just helps dissipate the water, because when it's running that just goes off like a hose pipe. So we put this on and it dissipates the water over here, so it sort of softens it. If you're dumping it into a little drain or into a sink or a bath or a shower in someone's house, it's great. So what we have is we connect the drain hose to this side, and it sucks water in here. You see the impeller spinning. It's got a torch on it for some reason, and then just spits it out the other side. It's got a bit of a funny thread to it. So I've made this flexi work. So we have this as the outlet, and then we plug the drain hose on there. So we can drain down a cylinder in 4 or 5 minutes. So rather than the gravity just taking as long as it wants to, put this on, just blows it out. So some of the cylinders we do are 400, 500 litres. So it really does speed the process up. A bit on the noisy side. You can't let it run dry for too long, so you have to keep an eye on this little device. One downside is it doesn't allow water to pass through when it's turned off under gravity. So if you do turn it off, it won't trickle through itself. You have to physically disconnect it if you get into that last sort of throes of the water. But yeah, transfer pump, come from Amazon, 94 quid or something. Great little bit of kit. Another thing we use, another one of our little fake Keita purchases, is this little blower. Love it. Makita battery goes on the bottom, got one here, just clips on, and it's just a little blower. It's like a mini leaf blower. And what I use this for, you can have, it comes with a dust bag, but I'll sack that off, I don't need it. If we're doing a job where we've got a little bit of a water leak, so like inside a boiler, and we have loads of bits of water everywhere and you're trying to dry it all off, just get this bad boy now, blow all the drips off, If you've got a motorbike and you wash it, blows all the drips out, all in the little radiator sort of grill bits and pieces. Fantastic little handy bit of kit. Weren't a lot of money, about 40 quid I think. So to store it, that little bit comes off. I actually lost that, so that's another one. But yeah, great little bit, but a fake Keter, made by whoever, don't know, but yeah. So that's there. So when we do pressure testing, we can pressure test with air. So if you do a new heating system, we want to test it before putting water in, just make sure we've got no massive leaks. So we've got a bit of a basic gauge really. So pressure gauge, this does our air. We connect it onto some sort of point on the heating system. So it's got a little 15 speed press, and it's got a car tie valve on there called a Strada valve. And we can just connect up the pump to it, and it'll just start pumping it up with some sort of inert gas, nitrogen or air, and that'll give us an air test. And then on the gauge, this one goes up to 6 bar on the gauge. So we normally run it at 1.5 times maximum pressure really. So heating systems, maximum 3 bar. So we'll then pressurize it to 4.5 to 5 bar as a static test, and we'll do that. And then we have procedures on sort of timings and stuff like that, how long we let it sit for and stabilize for. And then really importantly, when we're letting the air back out, we don't let it all go out in one go. It's very noisy, very dramatic, but we have to sort of let it out. It's called like just relaxing the pipework and the fittings, because you all hear them creaking and groaning as they're doing it. So, but yeah, fantastic little bit of kit. And yeah, not expensive at all. And this is made by Makita. So this is like a tyre inflator. So it has the Strada valve, car tyre valve connector. Now on your expansion vessels, we all have these car tyre valves on them. So, sorry, got a bit of hay fever. So when we come along, we got water in the expansion. It could be that the water's just creeped in. So first things we do is pre-charge them. So, and we just use this here. Makita battery goes on the back, little display on there. We set it to bar or PSI, and then we just pump it up. So really handy, better than the bicycle pumps that some people do use, a lot faster. What else have we got here? Now I don't have a lot of DeWalt stuff, but I do like this. Now this is a DeWalt spot laser. So this is a self-leveling laser, and what it does is just on the top and just on the bottom, it also fires out the front. When we set that up, obviously difficult on the camera, but it'll fire a laser up and it'll fire a laser down. So when we're up in a loft and we're doing a boiler installation and we want a vertical flue to go up, where do we cut the hole in the roof? What roof tiles do we do? What felt do we pop through? So I put this on the top of the boiler in the middle of the flue, because there's put a little cap on the top, a little mark, so it comes down and then directly goes up as well. So I center that to the flue, that puts me a dot onto the ceiling, and I know that's where the boiler flue is going to come out of. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Fantastic little bit of kit, made by DeWalt. So yeah, I say we don't have a lot of DeWalt, but I do like that. Very good. What else have we got here? Press tool. So we've got a few of these. This is the mini press tool. It uses a Makita battery once again. So and then put different jaws in. 15 to 28. This little mini one. So it's a great little bit of kit. So some of the water and gas fittings we use are pressed, so we don't solder and we don't compression them, and they're not push fit. So we put them into the jaw, shut it, give it a squeeze, makes a racket, but it automatically closes itself up to create a really good seal. And touching plastic boxes, we've never had one leak yet. You do it properly, you mark the shoulder, have a clean pipe, all done nicely, no burrs. Fantastic bit of kit. A little bit expensive, but really good. And the jaws come in, say, different sizes, 15 to 28 on this little one. On the bigger one, it goes up to 54 mil. So obviously going up to the bigger stuff there. So that's a great little bit of kit. And you say, just take some Makita battery on the bottom. Oh, and this one also does swivel as well. So the head will swivel 90 degrees. So if you need to go into this way or need to go into that way, this one does swivel. There are some attachments you can get for them that will go horizontally, go to vertically to pinch. Actually quite expensive as a little fit in that. About 400 quid. when I saw them at the installer show, because that's an Alpha press. I thought it was a lot of money for what it was, to be honest. It just looked like a fancy version of this. And because it was a bit of a game changer, because it goes onto that and basically it clamps onto here. Sorry, it goes into here and it just pushes this out. So it sort of goes onto this. So that still goes onto the fitting and then it clamps so you could have it coming off at a 90-degree angle. Great bit of kit, but very, very expensive. So, yeah, that's the little bits we got out today. So I thought I'd just share some of the bits that we can use. We got other things like wall chasers and multi-tools and bits and pieces, but I thought I'd just share that with you. So these are the stuff that really do make our life a lot easier, speed the job up. Obviously it's a few quid to buy them, but it actually makes them more of a professional job. So if you're starting out in the plumbing and heating industry, I recommend get yourself some proper bits of kit, and it just makes your life so much easier and makes the job nicer and quicker. Quicker jobs, happier customers. That's all we want. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope it was of information in this video. You take care, guys. Thank you. Bye. Bloody foot hurts.